Alright, hey everybody. Jared Napolitano, JNAP here, streaming some Champions League action. We're at turn 3 here. We'll jump in. I'll try to do some resets on kind of how things are going here. But this is a matchup between Brad, Bkippel, and Justin, jagteq. It is one of the 6 pod matchups for these players. I think both players might have played 4 out of their 6 games already. This might be the 5th. I think Brad's 2-2. And I'm not sure on Justin, but I'll check. But we have an interesting matchup here in the family, or Skywalker Saga, as it's called. Forces Strong My Family epic event with the Luke starting location and Jedi Luke against Brad's playing the Thrawn objective. Looks like lots of big blue, as the deck tends to do. Do some coverage here and get this up on the YouTube channel if people want to watch the replay. I know players usually enjoy watching live action Star Wars CCG, especially ones who are starting to get used to the open format a little bit more. So, I'll do my best to kind of call out key decisions and whatnot. But it looks like Brad is set up in space with Chimera, Thrawn, and Palaeon. Probably got that with Alert My Star Destroyer V. He's got code clearance, so his ability 3 Imperials are pretty heavy forfeit. Endor Shield V up here. You probably use that to upload Thrawn. The card recently went through a slight change, the card being the objective. It allows you to play, opens up the character base a little bit more. It doesn't restrict all admirals, just Shiranu, to not allow, I guess, that quick drain off the bat. And I should say, hopefully this game doesn't crash. The jump has had some trouble yesterday. It's just incidental, or coincidental, I should say, with the release of Virtual Set 20 and the accompanying errata. Hopefully this game doesn't crash. I think a game about 45 minutes ago did crash. It was between Eric Hunter and David Center. They were playing the second of their 2 matchups. Again, these are 6 differential games that each of the players have to play. They're not, typical match play matches. But they do need to play them out all the way to the end, because differential will impact who moves on to the top 8 cut. There's 24 players. So yeah, trying to just set the stage here. We see 3 POs on the ground, cycling cards for Justin. He now is playing the new Millennium Falcon to space, which he used with Best Star Pilot in the Galaxy to download. Solo came from reserve deck, Falcon from hand. I think I just saw that he retrieved Chewie at some point, maybe from Walkling. He's got Jedi Luke down here at the non-battleground. Coward is out from Brad, so this is not going to do anything. No drain here. Brad satisfying battle order, which he pulled. Out comes the sand effect with a Luke and a Rebel leadership. So this is a card I always think is underplayed. This is the set 0 Chewie V. Probably the best pilot Chewie, but persona costs pretty high. The other Chewie personas are all very good and definitely have their places in different decks, like Chewbacca Protector or Chewie Bowcaster. And yeah, so this deck kind of positions the Falcon in space, and that's where Chewie has a good role. Chewie V. Now comes the Chasm Walkway from Justin. Looks like he's got 17 force. He can activate an extra 15. Down comes alternate image Ray. I'm going to use pile pull here, so imagine. I guess he might be floating Anakin Saber. He might not be playing it at all. Since there's no way to download it. Maybe he's got like a weapon lab or something. Or maybe he's just relying on 3PO to cycle and find it. I guess we'll see in a moment if Justin has found the lightsaber to turn this into a potential Jaina 3. In which case he'd be threatening 3 at the Chasm Walkway, 3 at the non-battleground, and 1 at Fondor. Unless Brad does some things about it. Of course, if you're not familiar with the Thrawn objective, basically there's a direct damage with the helper effect. At any time Thrawn force drains at a battleground or wins a battle, light side has to stack a card, and then it can do these things on the flip side. This is like the main thing that it does. If a battle is just initiated, you can do it. That's the only thing it does. So it gets the direct damage, although it gets revealed, it gets put in the lost pile once it's revealed. And Justin's going to stack a 6 from use pile that he put down with 3PO, it looks like. a drain of 2 here at Kashyyyk, Our Only Hope V, and Yoda, Master of the Force V off the top for Justin. Here comes a drain of 1 at the Advanced Projects Laboratory. Of course, Brad always has lots of foils. They look cool, in my opinion. Some people don't like foils. When he was playing Chris Kelly a couple days ago, I think like every single card on the table was a foil, which is pretty wild. So Brad's going to flip here since he has, I think it's 2 cards stacked on 2 artwork cards. Out comes Tarkin's Bounty, so Brad's going to have a choice of 15 different cards to look for. Wonder what Justin maybe has up his sleeve. Maybe he's taking a little risk here. Doesn't have any force save for like a barrier. Doesn't seem like Thrawn's a deck that usually runs like First Strike. So, and of course, Justin can take a card here off Sand to prevent any battles with multiple Battle Destinies. Sand being, of course, the card down here. I don't like Sand, and that makes it so both players draw 1. Here comes a reveal with Kurgi. Brad knows everything that's in his force pile. He knows everything that's in his deck, so he knows that presumably he's looking for Thunderflare here, which is Captain Kurgi's matching Star Destroyer. The new Imperial Enforcement. This card is so, with the high res, it looks great. With like Vader's helmet's like very clear. It gets this new Initiate Battles for free, which is pretty neat. You don't get the retrieval with the Imperial, which one of the kind of targets of the tweak set that just came out. You know, I think let's make games end a little sooner and not have too many forms of retrieval. And then Kurgi does this like direct damage thing where you can peek at the top card of Lightside's reserve deck. If it's a character, you reveal it and they lose a force. Rebel. I also play someone use pile like against Jedi Knight Luke. Okay, you don't get your 6 anymore. So Brad is launching an attack here against the Falcon with Chewie and Han. Pretty thematic. We got Admiral Mahdi. Well, maybe not that thematic, as Mahdi departed on the Death Star. Thunderflare, Death Star 2 card, but who knows? So Tarkin's coming down. Admiral Mahdi V, who's going to give this a power bonus and give it some immunity, right? Boost the immunity. I think Kurgi gives it the immunity. No, I'm sorry. We're in the attack position, does. And then Mahdi bumps it. He's going to get 2 Battle Destiny here. And we see Punch It, fun card. So that's going to make the Falcon immune. So all attrition. And he's going to get 2 extra Battle Destiny. And this will be interesting. Governor Price, one of the Ability 3 Imperials. Brad's going to redraw that. I think Kurgi adds 2 to the attrition, but that's not 1 to the attrition. That's not going to come into play here. Brad's going to redraw with Tarkin now, since he draws less than the number of Imperials at the location. Gets to a 4 with Code Cylinder. So this is just going to be trying to outpower the Falcon. Punch It's a card you'll see in like Watch Your Step sometimes, or Old Allies with General Calrissian. What was I going to say? So Sand was obviously not pulled because Justin wants to get those 4 Battle Destiny. Brad's going to subtract 1 using a Dark Time for the Rebellion. This is a matchup of the Yavin 4 regional or Yavin 4 league champion for both years, as Brad was, and Justin was the Tatooine league champion in 2022. So all these players are very accomplished in this event. There's a 6 for Justin. So he looks like he's going to win this by 6. Wow. So he's going to lose absolutely nothing. And Brad's going to lose a bunch. So that was not an ideal way for that to play out for Brad. Good comment in the chat that Chewie's game text, your Battle Destiny draws at same system may not be modified, canceled, or reset. So he works against Zuckuss and Mist Hunter. He works against like Close Call, right? He would work against old school Grand Moff Tarkin if for some reason that was with Vader in space. Probably not going to happen. Maybe in like Brian Fred's Verge of Greatness deck, I think that was a thing. But trying to think of other ways that Darkseid cancels Battle Destinies in space, in like an Imperials deck. But yeah, so actually that wasn't too bad for Brad because his Imperials have so much forfeit. With do they have a code clearance? He had to lose Tarkin and Mahdi, which covered everything. So Kurgi stays, and Brad swaps the Star Destroyers Presumably, probably has an Imperial Command in hand. Oh no, I'm assuming he doesn't, because if he did, he probably would have played it there, right? To limit 4 Battle Destiny to 1. Especially once Punch It was played as a just action at the beginning of the battle. So Brad's going to take a bunch of damage here. Again, this is, I think I've said it a few times already, but this is a differential event. So these players will play this out to the end, and that'll factor in for each of these players 6 games, and it'll dictate who wins each pod, and then it'll also dictate 2, we'll call them at-large spots in the top 8, and they'll be the 2 best records in differential, probably maybe a 4-2 or maybe a 5-1 with a really good differential. That I'm trying to think of how that would work out. Yeah, so if you had 2 players that went 4-0 against everybody else, but they split against each other and they went 5-1, 5-1, and obviously pretty good differentials, that's probably where you would get someone that goes in. History, philosophy, and art off the top. That's one of those artwork, or yeah, it's called an artwork card, right? It's like an artwork helper, I guess. And Tarkin off the top. So this is the last week. I think a lot of people were holding off to play their games for the new cards that were released yesterday. Fortunately, yesterday was kind of like a lost day because of Jemp just coincidentally having some issues. It's usually pretty very good and reliable, but yesterday it was struggling and crashing a lot. So I think people were afraid, understandably so, to play games. We have games of competitive games of consequence at least. So Captain Hera and Adequan Paddle on Lure to come down. Justin verifies his reserve. This thing's got solo, adds battle destiny with Chewie, of course. That's how he got, draw their fire, and Brad has no force saved. So he's not going to be able to play any interrupts. And that's where that a dark time, it's kind of tough. Hindsight's 2020, but if he held that, he could have played it now. If he did have some interrupt he really wanted to play in battle, because a dark time for the Rebellion V activates the force. He didn't slide Hera or Anakin over to pilot. I guess all these pilots add 3, at least to the Falcon. Yeah, Chewie does to everybody. I think Anakin's going to add 1 to each destiny no matter what. And, alright, so Brad's going to reveal to get the power bonus here. That's what I was going to mention. And Justin's going to retrieve a card with his epic event because he initiated battle with the Skywalker, being Anakin. But yeah, I was going to say, Captain Hera still adds battle destiny with Imperial, even if she's not battling. Solo adds with Chewie, even if he's not piloting. So yeah, it's a pretty loaded Falcon there. And this thing's only immune less than 7. And Palaeon and Thrawn are going to have a boatload of forfeit, but we'll see if Justin can crack through both of those pilots. They have Thrawn is 9. Palaeon, I think, might be like 10. Because he gets the co-clearance boost. Or no, I don't think he adds to his own. When he draws a 1 Avenger, that's not good for Brad. Palaeon is forfeit 8. So it looks like 8 and 9. He can lose both pilots and cover. Looks like that'll be just enough. Brad's still battle destiny 5. Justin is fully immune because of the new Millennium Falcon, which is pretty cool because they're both piloting. That's pretty cool for again, new cards. So we're seeing some new cards here, seeing some impacts of the errata. One thing I was going to say earlier, and then I went on a tangent, is I usually hate giving cards that are 3 or 4. Opponent excludes their character from battle, and even though light side gets to choose, that can be really powerful. If you only have 1 character in battle, it basically ends it. If you have 2, you need to have 2 very strong characters, so you don't kind of initiate and well, I shouldn't say that, but that's a very strong mechanic to exclude a character from a battle, so I usually try to avoid giving 3s or 4s. But yeah, so the Falcon does damage, runs away to block the drain of 2 at Kashyyyk. Leave Brad with a drain of 1 on 1. This might start to get tactical. Both players have about 20 life force right now, so still a ways to go in this. And like I said before, definitely incentive for players to just keep trying to chip away at their opponent. Lost in Space is a pretty interesting immediate effect. You had to lose Thrawn first, so we didn't. So we got the forfeit bonus from Palaeon, or else he would have had to lose the ship. That might have been something Justin might have given a revert on if Brad went in a different order, but yeah. So entering turn 5 here. Reminder that tomorrow we're going to do the Advocate Awards. It's going to be me, TBD. Who else is going to join? Obviously, there's always moving parts for everybody. Maybe Scott, maybe Keith, maybe Chris Kelly, maybe Chris Schoenthal. They've all said, to some extent, might be able to do it. Not an ideal time zone thing with Adam. But we'll see. We'll have a good time. We'll announce the Advocate Award winners. We'll announce John Anderson Volunteer of the Year Award. We have a couple other fun announcements. And then we'll bump a couple things going on in the game. Although Dan does a great job with that, with Hollow Theater, and that just happened a little earlier tonight. So check that out at twitch.tv/swccgpc. Watch the replay on Twitch, or it'll be exported to YouTube, as he does every week. So Brad's reloading up the Chimera with Thrawn, General Veers V, and Governor Price. You're going to move Thunder Flare, which is a printed Hyperspeed 2, gets +2, and moves for free, while Death Star 2 on... Oh, so it's not Death Star 2 on the table. So you had to spend the Force, Hyperspeed +2 with Kurgi. Power, armor, and hyperspeed. So it's an interesting combination of Kurgi and Thunderflare work. He doesn't add anything to power, but Thunderflare V gets the boost. If out of battleground. Attrition's -2. I think I said earlier it's +2. So this is a drain of 1. Fortunately, -1. This is a drain of 0. Oh, actually, this got edited with the new errata. So yeah, it functions a little bit like... Nope, it doesn't. While you control... Okay, so there's a couple different ways why it gains an icon. That's interesting. Alright, looks like Justin tracked something here with 3PO because he only activated a few. Picked up a card, activated a bunch more. Presumably he's going to get a healthy total force drains of 5 through here. Brad's only got 5 cards in his hand. Justin's going to relocate Prophecy? No, wait. Nope, he's not playing. He has the chosen one. Never mind. Yeah, I do need sleep. It's been a rough week or so. My young son had pneumonia. My wife has bronchitis. I think I'm starting to get at least a cold. No one's really sleeping too great because everyone's sick. So, but I do want to stream these games. I think they're fun. I think they're valuable to new and returning players, and I think of interest to other players as well. Force push off the top, kick combo off the top. And for this event, we allowed spectators within Gemp, but we didn't, we asked and said it's very optional if you want to let us know if you are streaming or if you are playing. That's just one extra thing to balance. I'm sure for players, they don't want to have to coordinate with the streamer, or maybe if they move around, they might feel bad, or so no obligation, no offense taken by the stream team if players are just doing their thing, playing their games. So it's just an interesting time frame because the first week people might have been like, okay, I can use my pod, I can start testing a little bit, tweaking my decks. Second week, a couple games started getting played, and then with the tweak set almost here, people were probably like, hey, let me just wait till it happens. We'll get all the games in on Monday. I feel like there's going to be a lot this weekend since it's obviously a little easier for people. As we have General Leia, Ezra come down here against Blizzard Scout 1, V, and Blizzard 4. Imbalance combo takes away a Force. Krennic's on here. So he's going to prevent any cancel or modification to Battle Destinies, which doesn't look like that's going to happen probably. Looks like this Thrawn deck puts there's a lot of shields. I was going to say, it seems like there's a lot of cards on the table, but maybe not really. Both players have a lot of stuff going on here. Justin retrieves Clash because of Draw Their Fire. He also retrieved... Well, he tried to retrieve it, but then, Run Luke Run's coming. Let's see if he has a Skywalker's in his 7-card hand. That's a lot of just actions for Justin. That's pretty wild. Alright, so Justin does not have Skywalker since he grabs a card off of the sand effect. Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight's going to have his game text canceled, so that means he loses immunity. Probably not going to be an issue here since there's a lot of other forfeit. He draws a 4. It's going to be a 19. Draw Their Fire and General Leia really synergize well with the epic event. That's a lot of ways to retrieve force by picking fights. So when the engine starts working for this family deck, you can really get a lot of cards back. And assuming you have the proper activation, assuming you have battle plan satisfied, you can balance getting journeys through, getting battles through, paying for secret plans, obviously. And actually, now that I think about it, there's secret plans is not out. Right? So that's rough. For Brad, he doesn't have the combo, right? Yeah. So that's a lot of free retrieval there. So maybe you don't need a lot of force to pay for the retrieval, but I mean, I'm sure, none of these shields from Brad, I'm sure, in the moment, were. He's got 5, so he must have had a puller at some point, either Min or Cold Feet. But yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned in or is going to watch this on replay. But the sticker book program, and actually I have an update for that, but if you are watching, we'll do the token, the sticker book program token. Let's do Thunderflare V, this ship here. So if you want to receive some packs of cool stuff, cool sparkly stuff, as we see a battle in space now from Lightside. If you want to receive stuff, send an email to holotheater, that's RE at the end, at StarWarsCCG.org. Put Thunderflare V in the body, just say, hey, JNAP streaming, Champions League, Bkippel versus jagteq. And then Dan will tally all those up. I'll give an update in a minute here, but we have this battle. Justin retrieves Lando. Brad's going to pay the force to play Imperial Command to prevent opponent from drawing more than 1, which is good. And now, because Justin's only drawing 1 anyway, he's going to grab a card off sand, which it's probably more of a, so he's just going to put that back. More of a, let me grab this card and put it back in my life force. The way this is trending, there's probably not going to be more battles where he's going to need that card. So yeah, Thunderflare V is the token. So we'll total the things up in a minute. The sticker book program is going to extend through the calendar year, so through 12/31. Dan's going to total them all up. Kevin Yop, who's preparing all the sticker book packs with the foils and the little mini card stickers, is everyone's immune in this battle, and there's a 4 battle damage. Looks like, so there's the ping from the art collection. So Kevin said he's going to be shipping them out shortly after the new year. I think just after the new year was his phrasing. So hopefully I get them by like mid-January. I know there's some people that have been very patiently waiting, so I will turn those around quickly. I'll try to get them into the San Diego prize package for people going to San Diego. Brad grabs Cold Feet into hand from reserve deck using Governor Price. So yeah, he's going to play Secret Plans using that Cold Feet. So sticker book packs. I know there's some people that never got. There was a few people that never got their round 1. There's been 3 rounds, or we're in round 3 right now. Round 1 was the first 4 months. Round 2 was the middle. Yeah, here's Cold Feet for Secret Plans. So while I'm trying to get on a schedule of sending out all online prizes to everybody twice a year, there's going to be some exceptions to that for people that, for one reason or another, I've kind of been holding off. In this case, it's, I want to wait for the packs, include the packs, send you a package, get all your stuff. So that's the sticker book packs. And if you want more information on that, go to the forums, forum.starwarscc.org. General discussion forum. It's one of the sticky items at the top. Explains all the details on it. All right. So Brad, who's always a pretty quick player, he looks like he's got around 7 minutes more on the clock, but this is not going to go to time. There's 2 Jedi Knight Lukes stacked on the art collection. Those are some pretty good pieces of art, probably like $300 a pop in real life. Maybe more. Wow, yeah, Brad has a lot of shields and effects and stuff out, but yeah, he's going to start his turn 6 here, 14 to 23. He's down, so what is that, 9 in life force and down 6 in hand. That's 15 total. He's going to get drain of 1 through here at Polis Massa. But, there's an interior battleground here. If Brad's playing a lot of Big Blue and pilots, he's probably not gonna. He's probably not gonna have General Veers isn't gonna draw on his own unless you get Imperial Command. Point being, I don't know to what extent Brad can contest this Chasm Walkway site. and he really doesn't want to lose kind of the presence here at the Advanced Projects Laboratory. So we'll see what his game plan is here. He saves 3. He didn't activate everything. We're gonna get a flip. Is that okay, you can flip on your turn, right? During any deploy phase. Okay. Alright, so we did that. 445. Thank you, Justin, for telling us what was in Brad's reserve decks that going to inform or give us a perspective on maybe why Brad does certain things or doesn't do certain things. But those are decent. Has a chance if he can, if like Justin doesn't have a leadership. No, Brad needs a way to like add some battle destiny. To try, point B, trying to like get rid of both characters. That's not gonna happen, but he's gonna have the drill their fire swing on his side at least. Go down swinging, so to speak. You don't want to just let it sit until we get back to Justin's turn. Alright, so Min Kainu is drawn. That's a 4. Total power of 15. Let's see, let me just check the lobby here. What is the other games? Because, no. Like I was saying, there's like 50 games that still need to be played. There's 72 total. Like 50 of these Champions League games need to be played by Sunday. So I think there's going to be like a dozen or so on both the weekend days and maybe a bunch the next 3 days. I was kind of explaining earlier in the stream, as General A goes Lost Pile, and both of the blue walkers go, because Justin drew, what, a 6? Sorry, let me check real quick. Yeah, he drew a 6. So yeah, I think that he has to lose them both. Not like he made a decision just to lose them both in a certain order, so to prevent battling back into them, he had to lose them. But Brad's going to now initiate battle in space here. Let's see what he does. What's the grab? There's the grab card command? No, imbalance combo. Oh, excuse me. Another punch it. Is that from Lost Pile? Shit, no, from hand. Is he playing 2 punch its? Or, oh, he probably retrieved it, because he's been retrieving a bunch of force. 5+1, retrieved it earlier. Okay, yeah, thanks, Dan. Alright, so trample drawn for Destiny. Brad also played this card. Add a few. Total battle destiny 11. That's pretty good. I'll get rid of 2 characters from Brad. Or from Justin, rather. But 5 battle destiny for Justin. Wow. Yeah, because this is, what, Hera's adding 1, Solo's adding 1, Punch It's adding 2. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful Millennium Falcon. So even with all this forfeit that Brad probably has on here, what's he going to have? Thrawn, Veers, and Price. So Veers and Price are, what, 8 each? And Brad's just going to peel here. Looks like 24 attrition, bunch of battle damage. Okay, so this is interesting. Yeah, so Brad's just going to peel, and then he's going to be able to draw up during his battle phase. I guess I think Justin was mostly just losing kind of cards from his hand, so yeah, kind of good logic there from Brad, but I don't think, he was trying to coax maybe Justin into losing some cards from Life Force. But yeah, he'll draw here and take the loss by 21, it looks like. And this Luke family deck looks pretty good once it gets kind of stood up. It's a lot of Battle Destiny. Which is funny, too. It's just a lot of Battle Destiny adders, but yet he's playing Sand, of course, to limit it, when he may want to limit the Total Battle Destiny he's drawn. Not the first person to do something like that, but it probably works well in kind of this philosophy of picking fights. So Brad's going to draw up here, and Justin gets the win by 21. So, good game, both players. Let's, we'll see how this goes. Maybe another one will fire, but if not, we'll just end early. But in the meantime, let's take a look here at how the standings are going, because Bill's been posting on the forums as he gets results, but he hasn't gotten everyone's results. Obviously, this isn't going to tell us differential, but it looks like Brad has played the most games of anybody at 5. So he's got one more. I think he played both against Chris, both against... who else is in his pod? Oh, Justin Carulli. Yeah, right? Yeah. And Justin, I think... Justin Miyashiro split with Justin Carulli. And yeah, Brad must have swept Justin Carulli. Okay, so it looks like Brad has one left against Chris, against Justin Miyashiro. Maybe they're gonna play it now, honestly. Let's see. 1 minute for water. Okay, sweet. All right, so we'll do their other game as they get set up here. But yeah, so Batmouse has played 4 games. I think he's played a couple against Carl, at least one against Joe earlier today. Llama Hawkeye, he beat Eric, and then I think he played one against Fox. No, Fox lost. He's 0-2. He lost to Eric. Atatoy over here. Chris Kelly, 2 wins against Brad. Crazy Carl lost 2 against Kuhn, who's over here. Steve Boos, 2-1. So yeah, so no one's undefeated with more than 2 games. So that's pretty good parity. And the only person who's 2-0 is Chris Kelly. So there'll be some good matchups. That Pod B is Connor, Greg Shaw, Charlie Arlinson, and I think it's John McFarland. I think MHT and B. Fred are in the same bracket. So this will be... I don't really recall them playing too often. So that's a game I'm looking for, or games I'm looking forward to. I think any game with Batmouse is always interesting because it plays crazy stuff. Trying to think what other interesting games. I mean, all these are really good games because they're all really good players. But everyone's gonna have a little bias of a couple things that stick out to themselves. I know Worst was playing Yoshi the other day. I think it was like CCT versus QMC. Yoshi was playing CCT. I was watching Kevin Huge. He was playing against Lom Hawkeye, I think. That Pod B, I think it is the only pod with 2 European players. I think it has Kevin and Stefan, and then it has Eric and David. So I'm pretty sure, unless I'm getting them mixed up. But yeah, I guess just PSA, lots going on right now. The early donation window goes through Thursday, so 2 more full days. Check that out. What other things we got? There's just a lot going on. I feel like a lot of setup stuff going on right now. Like we just announced the plan for regionals and states and European nationals and leagues for 2023. So there's posts on the forums about that. League organizers will probably be getting things in motion there. My little event here, Santa J Naps Free Foil Fest, that has about 11 days left. So basically play a bunch, get some foils. I have a shipment of foils arriving in just a couple days. AIs, those are going to be used, a lot of them for the San Diego event, and then I have a couple others that'll help me get a jump start on like league prize kits, and maybe the donations program. No guarantees here, but in a win-win situation, I might be sending out some of the donation stuff early to open up space in my garage to try to level out the heavy. It's going to be a lot of work to send all them out, and we've had a great response so far. And thank you to everyone who donated. But it is going to be a lot of stuff. So there is a chance I have everything I need for certain tiers, and might just send all that stuff out and just get it moving. Again, like I said, create some space in my garage. But can't make a promise there. We'll see. We had, I think, over 300 people fill out the player survey, which was great. I'm kind of, I have been confirming addresses for those. I'll start trying to get those out. To people who, there's a lot of people that fill this out that, don't play or get prizes for other reasons, which, is totally fine. Hopefully over time they do. But I don't really have other stuff to send them, so I might just start chipping away at that list and send them stuff. But we'll see. I also might try to combine it at a later time. All right, so Justin and Brad are kicking off. Okay, this will be interesting. CCT for Justin and 0 Hour for Brad. Of course, 0 Hour got... I can't keep... Since... I don't keep up, unfortunately, on this stuff as much as I should. I gradually learn it, but I used to be able to play more and sponge up changes a lot better. All right, so this does a bunch of things. Hera deploys -1. Once per game, I upload This Is My Ship. There was before that change, people would play 3, 4, 5 copies of This Is My Ship, which basically allows you to get out Hera and Ghost very quickly. All right, strike planning here from Brad as a third effect to go with Walkling and Phoenix Squadron operations. This is going to be the foil for, I think, participation foil for the Gem PC. So sign up for that if you haven't. Again, go to forum.starwarsccg.org. It's right in the board index, upcoming events. Click on Batmaster 7 Gem PC. There's a Google Forms you got to fill out. So everyone do that, and that's one of the prizes. The Lothal Jedi Temple is going to be one of the foils in the League kit this year. I think it might be the regional kit. Sometimes I get these things mixed up, but it's definitely going to be a foil. So it'll look pretty cool. The game's only 3-1. All right, so some early actions here. We see strike planning uploads Hog, Han Solo Optimistic General. Brad also activates 1. No, he doesn't activate 1. He just uses his game text on Lothal to upload This Is My Ship. Plays a grabber. General Aaron Kraken. So that kind of tells to me that if he took General Aaron Kraken and Han Optimistic General, I feel like there's usually another general you might want. So maybe open-handed, another one. Would General Leia make sense in this deck? Or General Calrissian? Probably not. We'll see. Right, Aim High comes out. Always definitely a shield you want against carbon chamber testing. Mic issues. Uh-oh. Can you hear me okay? Everyone in the chat hear me okay? Dan is saying mic issues. I don't know what I did. Alright, so probably pretty scripted turn 1 here. Some static. Maybe it was when I was taking a sip of water or something. Or maybe it was when I was shuffling my laptop. Okay, good. Yeah, let me know if I ever sound low or high or, hear some crazy thing in the background. And I have noticed that on some of my streams. I think it's when maybe I shift my laptop on this kind of a pillow that I have it on. Alright, so Boba Fett comes out with the blaster rifle. He's all yours. Bounty Hunter is played to make Boba Fett move for free. A Despair V came out. That's a card that was not errated just now, but it was errated a few sets ago to take the power level down on CCT. Boba Fett moves. We get a flip. And I think in discussions, I've played 0 Hour only a couple times. I think this is a tough matchup for CCT because 0 Hour space is pretty strong, and CCT space is okay. It's not quite as powerful as Quartz. So we'll see here who wins the system. I think 0 Hour came out. It was really, really fast, really pretty strong. Then it got hit before it really even got a chance to play at a major, which I think made some sense. Some of the changes were fair. But I think everybody building a dark deck right now kind of has to anticipate 0 Hour a little bit and just be ready to react. And I think it was Desai who said this at one point on Slack, like, dark decks that need that second turn to kind of like either like just survive or just kind of like reestablish a little bit, like CCT or like a stunning move, are perfect examples. Struggle versus 0 hour, because that's when 0 hour can kind of like vomit on the table by turn 2, if not turn 1, with some of the engine that it has, with the deploy cost being reduced for its characters, and the way Kanan like pulls cards from the use pile, all the different things it can download from the objective. It has to be just speak of the devil. So he's going to now draw top card of use pile, right? Yeah. And now anytime that Chopper, Ezra, Hera, Sabine, or Zeb go out, and of course Sabine, Chopper, and Zeb, and maybe Hera too, are all deploy -1. No, just the 3 more scrubbier ones: Chopper, Sabine, and Zeb. No insurrection here, so like Sabine and Zeb get nice forfeits with insurrection. And we have the This Is My Ship, which deploy Ghost. Yeah, so they just came out. Deploy Ghost and Hera simultaneously, -1 each. So Hera was only 2 because she gets this new -1 from the system. So what was that, a total of? Was it free? Why did This Is My Ship go on use pile? Optional response. Maybe I'm missing something. Alright, so Battle Plan comes out. Brad has it satisfied, obviously. We'll see what Justin does here. This turn 2, CCT usually wants to get Duro V and IG-88V out and start establishing its tunneling. He's going to pay to get the drain through. Usually CCT obviously hopes that Scum is in the reserve deck here too, so and get downloaded with the 7 side of the objective. Sabine off the top, Fly Casual off the top. Looks like Justin's going to hit his Scum and Villainy pull. Hera with no backup is risk against Elia decks, and she won't show about. Yeah, maybe Brad's using the barriers type. 0 hour has been. I've seen there's been a couple different versions. I think for the most part it uses like narrow escapes, barriers, dodges, stuff like that. So it can go really wide with like singular characters at locations and not get destroyed. But that's where like Blast Door controls can really be powerful against it. Cancels narrow escape, Blastador Kid, and Rebel Barrier, which is kind of collateral damage to like Watch Your Step, which kind of needs those tricks to survive on the ground, since its ground is not nearly as strong. Yeah. Oh, Hera's coming. Okay, so there's a barrier, and because because Justin only has 1 force left, obviously Brad doesn't need to save that barrier for any space attack, because Justin's not going to be able to afford anything. Alright, so Mara's not moving, and he spends a force to grab it, so he'll get the activation on Brad's turn from the Carbonite Chamber Console V with the force on use pile. He could then pick that up. Yeah, but I think most of the 0 hour decks are like evasion, but then I think like some of the European players, I think it was Kuhn, maybe one other player at Euros played like a Battle Plan, Draw Their Fire, Jedi Presence, lots of like pretty potent stuff that could really be like a beats deck. So we'll see. I definitely want to play more 0 hour. I like that it's like the Rebel stuff. I like cards look great. It seems like it's pretty strong. Not like super duper strong. And as some people who've been paying more attention to the new cards, frankly, than I probably have, are saying that light side's not as good of a spot as dark side is right now. Why did Brad not force drain? Am I missing something? Right? It's a force drain of 1. He went right to his deploy phase. I don't know what happened there. I think he forgot the drain. Tarkentown comes out. Zeb goes to Tarkentown, which is like his home. He draws Battle Destiny. I'm not able to otherwise here. Him or Sabine rather. We get a flip, so now he's gonna be able to get this add or subtract from a just drawn battle destiny or opponent's weapon destiny. Battleground, you occupy with Phoenix Squadron characters. So right now that's 3. And now Brad's going to play like the old Rescue in the Clouds V card, which is this is our Rebellion. To peek, take a card in the hand. This card's pretty... I actually considered putting this card in a couple other decks because the second function, cancel an attempt to target your starship with a weapon, or Tractor Beam. After freaking Batmouse destroyed me one game with Tractor Beams, that made me very angry. And like, I think that's like the best counter for it. I don't think there's many cards that stop Tractor Beams. There's a handful that stop against weapons, but Tractor Beams, nice. Yeah, so presumably Brad's going to battle here at the Jedi Temple. Presumably he's going to do what he has to make Kanan not get hit and probably not die to attrition. Justin would need to draw pretty high, 3 straight, right? 3 straight pretty good destinies to make Brad burn that subtract and then also not be able to use it on the battle destiny. So he gets the power bonus from Despair, power +3 when in all battles when Jabba's prize is with scum ability. And Justin plays one of my favorite cards, Projected Telepathy, to make Brad use 2 force. Brad has it, and he's got one more after that. Here comes the swing from Mara. No blaster to... Oh, a dodge. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. So now... yeah, Brad's going to use the subtract on the battle destiny then, and Kanan being immune less than 5 naturally is going to be just fine. And that would have missed anyway, but better safe than sorry. Yeah, so that's an interesting bet because yeah, I think I think for that all to work out, Justin would need to draw like 4, 3, force him to use it, then draw like a 5, right? It's like a 3, 4, 5 type thing or better. And it's probably this early. He definitely doesn't want to lose Kanan. All right, so that's going to go down to a 0. Brad's going to win the battle by 1 force, or one total, I should say. Maybe at 1 force. And Mara dies. IJD8's going to tunnel that last card. So yeah, I mean, I don't think Justin can just let Brad entrench and set up and find evasion and keep forcing through pretty big damage on Lothal, so he's going to have to keep interacting with him to win this game. Yeah, he's going to be able to retrieve one every turn. He's going to retrieve when he battles, but like I said, if he can't be passive, I think the game plan for CCT here is just keep attacking. Brad's going to activate 15 next turn. He's not paying for his drain in all likelihood, with Rey up in space, who cost 1 extra because of the front side. We don't see this too often where it's like a soft like discouragement from playing unthematic cards. Yeah, good point, Dan. We'll see if it makes sense. I mean, Brad might be, after last game where he kind of got caught without secret plans, maybe this early in the game it might be better just to save a shield. He could play the simple tricks and nonsense, which would prevent Justin from retrieving a force this turn, but very likely Justin's going to end up on a second battleground pretty soon, and then was the shield worth 1 card that it stopped? We'll see. But let's see what Justin has in his 9-card hand here. If he tries to establish like the Carbonite Chamber, if he tries to attack Zeb, whatever he chooses to do. Yeah, that's a funny point. With Rey being more expensive to deploy, it gives you an extra card to potentially pull from your use pile with our game text. But yeah, it's interesting that they discourage like episode 7 or episode 1 characters and cards with the front side here. No, it doesn't do episode 1. Jedi resistance characters and resistance. So yeah, it discourages like the 7 Episode 7 icon or sequel trilogy stuff, we'll say. Alright, Brad's gonna, and then Justin's, yeah, so now we're probably talking like 2 force that the simple trick shield would have saved. Because Justin's not setting up on a second battleground here. Justin's up above 12. Apparently the new shields are going to make the Monarch and Grimtosh not played as often because they are a hand size management thing. So we'll say, so if you're in like that 13-14, you're probably safer now than you used to be, but you're definitely in worse shape if you need to get to 15 in the moment. If you got to dig for stuff, there's benefits, pros and cons to having to dig with the new shields out, because the opponent can take cards away, but you can then just kind of find the card you need. Alright, so Justin's going to tunnel on Brad's turn, and here we go. We're going to get 5 damage here from Brad because of his objective. We're just going to add 1 to the second, third, fourth, whatever, 4 strains at Battlegrounds the rest of the turn. So there's 2 at the Temple. Django, Mighty Jabba, he lost Utaguta to the Space Drain. 2 here at Tarkin Town. Shelly and Greedo. So 4 characters. Justin's preserving his 14-card hand. He's going to have about 16 force to work with, maybe 15 next turn. Out comes Ezra, who gets the deploy -1 because of the game text here at his roost. He's fully immune there. Kanan enables a use pile draw. And then Brad's going to verify, or wait a minute. Ah, okay. He deployed the sight from hand after attempting to deploy it from reserve deck. So he is playing the 2/2. I've seen sometimes it's played, sometimes it's not. As you're giving away some more force, but it ups your damage. Player controls total power +2. That's pretty good. Like Darkseid can download Thrawn, any type of Thrawn. And out goes Sabine to the capital city and General Kraken. So yeah, so now Brad's really establishing here on 0 hour. He is at 9 cards in hand. He's still got 5 cards to work with the rest of the turn here. And I guess I should say, so this is what? This is Brad's 6th and final game. So he's trying to get to 3-3, as I'm just pulling up here. And then is this Justin's last game too? I don't think so. He's gonna he has 2 more after this. Looks like I think Justin's gonna have 2 games versus Mr. Chris Kelly still to play. Alright, so recirculate. So Brad's got a nice setup here across 5 locations. 1 character at each, basically. Alright, so here comes Simple Trick. So yeah, so Brad's not going to let Justin get that card back, or get that retrieval at least this turn. Yeah, I don't know how many other shields he would need to pull here. Which other shields? I mean, I don't fault him at all for pulling aim high before, like, Simple Tricks. Because, you know, in theory, you could play Simple Tricks until, you know, Darkseid gets onto Battlegrounds. But, you kind of assume they're probably going to get on there eventually. Alright, Imperial Artillery, which was something that I think Greg Shaw used at his, and maybe some of the other New Allies players, in their Worlds CCG decks. Play 2 or 3 of them. Destiny 7s are always good. You don't have to float like a Destiny 3, you'll be dead, and then you potentially use like a Surface Defense V or even like a tunneling card to find it. So there's some merits there for artillery, as Justin goes to Mandalore with Fury and Stinger, so there's no presence there right now. Now there is. Ellison, as Dan says, the Hintra, which will download a smuggler. Probably Ponda Baba? No, Woof. Oh, duh. Yeah, definitely Woof. I don't play Scum too often. Only in retro formats where I play my kind of Scum. Oh yeah, Brad loves this card, Weather Vane V. This is the player card for our esteemed graphics lead, Christian Knutson. And this card, it works really well in these decks that go wide. Like Diplo, which Brad plays a lot. I know he likes it. 0 Hour, I think it's really good. We saw Jeremy DiPaolo and had used it at Worlds in his Yavin 4 Ops, and it worked kind of well in that deck too. As P59 comes down here with First Strike, the other deck that I've seen it in... Oh, Johnny Chu used it in his hidden base deck. And I think his sons, maybe both his sons, were playing it in theirs as well. It's a really cool card, and it's cool that Jemp can do the rotate. But right now it's in the lost pile, so... Although Brad just takes Unita into hand. This will be interesting. I wonder if he has a second Weather Vane. Does he really want that Weather Vane back? Does he need that Force to save for a trick here? It doesn't look like it, so he's going to bury the Weather Vane a little bit, at least temporarily. Justin gets back Greedo. Scum Retrieval for Justin. This is a drain of 2 that he's threatening his next turn in space. P59 is going to shoot Zeb and hit in all likelihood. Yes, that's another 2 Force ping. Nope. No, it's not, because that's what the objective does. So yeah, so Brad's going to save himself. A hit there. Oh, close call. V, I hate this card. And now he's going to be able to redraw it. Brad is not going to let that card circle around. And grabs it with Allegations. Let's see what Justin draws here. A 3, so that's going to hit Ghana Gimort. So Zeb, who is defense value 2. And now Brad's going to have to peel 2 cards. This is our Rebellion from the top, and also it's a hit. I'd be tempted here not to draw Battle Destiny. I mean, he's got to have at least like 3-4 characters in his hand. What if his plan here is just to come down and try to beat up on P59 as a counter beat? 2 Battle Destiny for Justin. Zeb has his forfeit, so Brad's going to draw. He draws a 1. Oof. And P59 is going to be immune. So I think technically Justin could lose him if he wanted to. But it's also, in this deck, CCT, they probably got barriers. At least 1, maybe 2. Some people play 3 barriers. Yeah, Ahsoka Tano would be good because she's immune to permanent weapons. She subtracts from Battle Destiny. Her working alongside the objective could really reduce down Dark's Battle Destiny or really bump Lights as well. So we'll see if Justin has any tricks here. Justin is up 8 Life Force, but down 4 in hand. And he's got Battle Plan solved now. He's threatening 2 drains of 2. Even more, actually, because P59's here. But I have a feeling P59 is not going to last through this turn, unless Stark can here. Any deck that can really just be aggro, like the Rots Dooku, the Hunt Down V, maybe Hunt Down. Hunt Down might be a little trickier. Shadow Collective. All those decks can really just try to put the pressure on and force 0 Hour to use their tricks, and if they're caught without their tricks, I guess it could be trouble. Lots of weapons are also problematic. I wonder how Court does for 0 Hour. I guess maybe Joker King knows if he's watching. He's probably played that. But yeah, so Brad's going to get through a bunch of drains here. So this is what, 7 damage? No, 8? Justin should probably pull Resistance, right? Hold on a second. Did I miss that? Why? The capital city was only 2? He did that first so that they all were... Okay, that makes sense. So instead of 1, 2, 2, 3, he just made them all 2. Okay, so that's 8 damage. Woof. So pretty quickly, Brad kind of flips some of the momentum there. Unita gets back Zeb. Here comes Ahsoka, so Dan called that. Foil, I guess Ezra and Ghost are not foils, huh? I'm sure Brad will probably round them out pretty soon. This card's cool because I think this was a foil for the very first OCS year in 2018 before the OCS did AIs. I remember Fred reached out and was like, "Do you have any Ghost foils?" I was like, "Yeah, that one's a hard one to get because not nearly as many people were doing OCS back then and playing the max games as they are now. So there's a lot less volume." Yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, chat, as I'm checking it. It's advantage for court. Yeah, I think so too. Did Brad use the Ezra retrieve? I don't think so yet. And now, Ryle Torsen / Commander Nara. Ryle Torsen being the underlying card. He's going to draw a card here. So, Brad's just continuing to go wide here now on 6 locations. He occupies, is it 5 with Phoenix Squadron? So, or does this cap? No, it doesn't. Nice. Alright, so IG8's going to grab a card. We're going to get a first strike swing here in the favor of Brad. And it seems very, very unlikely that, unless he draws the 7. No, there's no way Ahsoka dies here. Because Justin can't even target, because Ahsoka is immune to permanent weapons. And he draws a 5. He's going to add to it. Now, I guess theoretically, if Justin draws like an artillery, that would be unfortunate. But then he just loses. Brad just loses Ahsoka, and it's not a huge deal. But yeah, he just draws a 3, which comes a 2. Let me turn on my auto scroll. So Justin now owes battle damage of looks like 3. So yeah, 4 rather. So he loses Ghana. Then he loses P-59 for 4, and then he's all yours, Mighty Jabba and Shelly. I was going to move Ghost in front of what Justin has up here. So this adds a Battle Destiny, right? Guri deploys a board for free, yeah. But, and this has ability 4, right? 2 + 2 from move, so that's 2 Battle Destiny. Walkland's going to get punted here. Brad's going to get back. This is our Rebellion. Looks like Justin's only now going to have a drain of 2 lined up. So now this looks... Oop. Justin's just cycling a card here. Canceling character weapon destiny draws, battle destiny draws. Alright, so Brad is now up 3 in life force and 5 in hands, up 8 total. Presumably will be 6 once Justin finishes his control phase. Thanks to everyone for joining the stream tonight if you watch this on replay. Sticker book token, we did Thunderflare V. So send that over to holotheater@starwarsccg.org to get an entry there. And as I was saying, in case people weren't listening before, I'm supposed to be receiving all of the remaining sticker book packs very early in the new year. And I will send those to the people who I'm kind of a little overdue with those for. Soon. The other ones I'll probably bundle. Like people, I just sent you a bunch of other stuff. I will get it to you in a economical way, and not too long. All right, so IGD8 can tunnel for a card here for Justin. It's a shame. One of the cool prize support items that I know Kevin generated for Euros, and he sent some extras that we've been giving out a little bit, were oversized sparkly objectives and 0 Hour and Thrawn, which Brad's playing both of them in this set of 2 games against Justin. Because they've had some slight tweaks. I think they're out of date now. But they're oversized, they're sparkly, they're cool. If I got one, I would still use it and just maybe even insert like a little errata slip in there, just so you have it handy. Or in the age of smartphones, but you can look it up on Scomp or the Comlink app. But yeah, they look really cool. But yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that they're already technically out of date. Lando Calrissian Scoundrel, and Combined Fleet Action tossed from hand by Brad. Here comes Shizor, who is going to work against Ezra because he needs ability 6 to get Battle Destiny through total bit. And Brad's going to think that's worth a barrier to pay 3 force total because it's been grabbed. Probably a good call. Jabba's Haven's going to go fetch a retrieve a alien or independent starship. You have to pay the force for him high. He gets Ponda Baba back, so presumably Ponda's going to go down here. He's going to add a Destiny to attrition with a smuggler. It's going to be really hard for Justin to break through as AI of Hera. One of the few AIs I think that's actually a little worse image than the regular. But maybe some people like the other one better. Alright, so we get a first strike swing. We're going to get a scum retrieval here for Justin for 2. So I guess that's basically like a 4-card swing here just for battling. Yeah, that's a good point, Berman. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I know on Brad's turn, he could move Ahsoka during the deploy phase, right? Same Padawan at an adjacent site, so he can move Ahsoka over, kind of bring the beats versus Shizor. I think it's, unless Justin got it recently, I don't think Justin has a kick in his hand. So that's something worth watching on Brad's turn 5 coming up. But we'll see if Justin can crack through these 2 characters and the objective. Yeah, so right off the bat, Brad's going to subtract 5 from the 5 to turn into a 0. And now he's going to need to draw, like 8 total? Ooh, draws the 7, so that's not good for Brad. If he loses the space presence, then he's going to have to pay for all his drains. But what, 7 and 7? This has a permanent pilot? No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Alright, so then he draws a 5. That's a card that Justin cycled at the end of Brad's turn there. So 12 and attrition. That's going to be both pilots for Brad. And Justin probably loses Guri. Yeah, loses Guri. The permanent pilot is now unsuspended. And you would think Brad probably has a pilot in his hands at the very least. He's going to be able to throw a pilot on there and move around, just hold battle plan. There's 3 systems he could run to. Or he could just do that and play fly casual. Upload Tidarium, which definitely has a permanent pilot, I know. Ability 2. And does he still have Hog? He probably still has Han Optimistic General. That was one of the first actions of the game. And we haven't seen him at all. Yeah, like I feel like this text from Ahsoka is something I would definitely forget in person. During any deploy phase, if a Padawan or Sith character, and there's more Sith characters now, with like Savage Opress and Asajj Ventress, with lightsabers, they play in Shadow Collective, or Asajj does. Asajj does. I don't know if is Savage an assassin. I don't think so. But yeah, and then obviously, all the Revenge of the Sith stuff creates more Sith, so that can come in handy for her game technique. Can move. She works with like Anakin. She works with Cal Kestis. I think she probably works with. See him get more play. I feel like the deck I've seen him most in has been WAP, since he's a Republic character. All right, so we'll see what happens here. It looks like Brad's gonna try to punch back in space. So, Tidarium goes down to Mandalore. Hog's there, so that's now 2 Battle Destiny with Guri God. Brad reveals the top 2 cards, takes Leia into hand. Narrow escape, yes, like we mentioned before, like that's Last Door controls, cancels that. Let's see what he does with Leia here. He could put Leia down. Oh, really? So Savage Opress was an assassin at one point and then lost it. Interesting. Like, does he put Leia right at Cheeseworth's site and blank him? Does he put Leia... Oh. Yes, he does. So now he can't battle Cheeseworth, which might have been kind of nice to move Ahsoka in front. Battle, get a first strike swing. Definitely take out Cheeseworth. Probably. Ezra is immune less than 5. Yeah. So, probably not lose anybody, because he can only do this once per turn, though, right? Once per turn during battle, yeah. So you can't do that at both battles. Alright. And, why shouldn't he get 2? Battle Destiny? Oh, it's not alone. Ooh. Oh, that's probably not something that Brad's happy about. While alone. So it's not alone, even though this doesn't have any presence. That's interesting. It's probably right. Doesn't matter for aloneness purposes. But I don't know why. I don't think Brad would want to do this during just one Battle Destiny when Woof is subtracting 1. Even if Brad adds here, so he can add what? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's basically going to be able to add 3. He could take out like Stinger and 1, maybe 2. He's not going to be able to completely kick him out, but you might not need to really kind of turn this. And Brad probably knows what... This is the narrow escape, right? Yeah, so you don't move it, you just peek, take 1, leave the other. Okay. So it's -1 from move. He's not going to use the objective. That tells me he might be planning to battle Cheeseworth here, but he's blanking Cheeseworth at the Ezra's Roost. Or no, not necessarily. So he subtracts. Okay. So yeah, so he didn't burn his objective text, or he didn't save it, I should say, for the battle that. All right, so Leia's now down 7. Loses Han Optimistic General, who's forfeit 6 only. Yeah, interesting. He's not 7. So he's going to lose 1 more. I know he's going to have to run away with Tidarium. Yes, all he killed was Woof there, who is forfeit 4. Yeah, I think Brad probably, in retrospect, probably not very happy with how that went. Alright, so looks like they're dead even in hand and life at 24 each. Brad is on 6 locations. Oh, Ghost prevents Han from adding? Oh, yeah, because not alone. Okay, yeah, so the chat was saying what I saw. Yeah, so that was not ideal. Sorry, I'm on like my laptop here. I'm not in like my office with my double monitor setup, so there might be sometimes where there's a little lag in me checking the chat. Alright, so Justin's going to cycle a little Dark Time. And now Justin's going to get, looks like, 2 drains of 2 through. Get his retrieval with CCT. Woof gets retrieved. Pondabob is going to slide over. We'll see what Justin has in store here on this turn. EPP Mara comes down. Dengar and Punishing 1. Dr. E. So yeah, so there's going to be a bunch of battles here. Presumably no retrieval, because Justin probably wants to save that force to battle at Lothal against Tydirium. Yeah, he does not retrieve. Leia's just going to probably swing, operate. So this turned back in favor of CCT, I think, pretty quickly. Yeah, and man, this game is delicate. Like, I feel like that Tydirium plan might have been the difference when you look at everything and how that turn went. Because I feel like Brad was starting to get the momentum and really going wide. And now this looks pretty bad. Because now he's going to get kicked out of space. He's not going to be able to get all his drains through. And obviously the cascading effect of 0 hour. You've got a plan to spend at least 6 on your drains to make them worth it. So the chat's saying subtract. It didn't subtract 4 from the weapon. Would that have kept him? It wouldn't have saved him, right? Yeah. So yeah, not on 5. So Sabine goes and a peel of 1 more. Battle at the system. Dengar gets the... Wasn't that just... Power 4. It gets power plus 3. Where's the extra 2? Oh, the capital city. Wow. So that's working against Darkseid. Or working against Lightside, rather. So that's not good for Brad, because now he's going to have to peel 3. Plus the first strike swing. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. No. Oh, he's going to peel everything to keep Tydirium around. So that probably a good play. You just think of marginally, like, now he's going to be able to get these drains through. Justin plays resistance, but I don't think I like that, right? Because Brad can set up these drains in a way that resistance doesn't matter. But yeah, no, that's probably a good peel from Brad. Really important for him to stay in, especially if he he's only got 1 card in hand. He probably doesn't have another ship accessible. Too much power to peel from Joker King. Maybe just peel instead. Plus, yeah. Yeah, good call. Good job, chat. You guys are on top of everything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Brad just kind of keeps, running here. Because he can use Leia to stop the drain at the city, right? Retrieve a card, so that's a nothing. So, and then the Lothal drain, is this a 1 or a 2? It's only a 1. Okay. I think there's a way that Brad pulls this out. So yeah, so here's 6 damage. He's gonna run away, and I guess Seed drains of 2/2/1. He can move yeah. See, CCT can get somebody from their force piles. It's not like he can spread out on Cloud City. Yeah, I don't think I like the idea. Yeah, that was another play that I think Brad probably wishes he did something different. Putting Leia in front of Shizor, I think it would have been better just to beat up on him with Ahsoka and Ezra rather than blank him. Save Leia for some other place. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's probably what I would have done. Alright, so Mighty Jabba, Projective Telepathy. Was that Gik lost from hand, did I see? Yeah, Justin loses Gik from hand, so he's trying to manage his differential here. Brad's going to play Jedi Lev to retrieve Hog. Alright, so he can deploy him and then I guess run away? Because he's got nothing left in his reserve to draw Battle Destiny. Han costs 4. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Justin's can't really battle into that unless he finds another ship. I know. Well, interesting. All right, so see, I don't know if I like that. I guess if his destinies are good. No, see, Justin's just gonna find some fodder, throw the fodder onto Hinthra, battle, get a 4/4 swing. I honestly think it would have been better off just running to Nalhutta. I think that was the worst of the three options. Either you could have stayed it there with Dengar punishing one and just kind of taking a gamble that Justin doesn't have another ship he has access to. Or you could have moved to Nalhutta and just not allowed the battle to happen in space. But now here, I mean, obviously, Justin's either just not going to battle and run away, or he's going to put some fodder up there so that he can battle and not get kicked out. Alright, so Jedi Lev's lost from reserve. Perimeter scan from reserve. Kanan from reserve. Brad's down to 7. Life Force. Brad uses the game text on Unita to place Imperial artillery out of play. Justin's going to get a force back. With his objective. And I guess so Justin was taking it's always the approach of, like, when you're playing against Leia Rebel Princess, do you try to just try to burn through her force train cancellations, or do you, like, not, you have some other plan, just try to get rid of her and not allow those force to come back? It looks like Justin's taking the plan of burn through it, which, given how much damage both players are doing here, that probably does make sense. It's not like that's the only. He's kind of keeping pace to some extent, or pretty well, actually, I should say. All right, Chelly comes down for free to an unoccupied site. Probably P-59's coming back. This Guri, oof. All right, so Guri's gonna go for free aboard Stinger. That's gonna cap Tidirium and Hog from drawing more than one. Let's see what else Justin has in his hand, because right now he'd get a power bonus. I think Guri adds 2, right? Yeah, so she adds 2. Look at the despair bonus. That's what, getting this up to 14 in battle versus 5. So yeah, so CCT can outpower pretty good here. Brad did have the extra shield pull. Okay. Was there, I guess, perimeter scan was played? Maybe I missed that at some point. Yeah, second battle destiny for Dark. Yeah, this looks bad for Brad. And he's going to get, and Justin's going to get 3 force retrieved here. Punish. Yeah, see. Yeah. Even he might have still lost the game, but I think differential-wise, I think going to Mandalore was the worst of the 3 potential space options. Alright. So yeah, I have a feeling this is going to start hitting the runway to the end here, but yeah, thanks. You know, obviously we'll stay to the end here, but thanks to everyone for tuning in, joining me, participating in the chat, catching my errors. Keep an eye out for these Champions League games. Like I said, I think we have around 50 games still to play over the next 5 days. With the new set out, hopefully Gem cooperates. It looks like there was just the one crash today. Versus yesterday was like really difficult. All right, and then 4-Lom comes down. She can now blank Leia, or she prevents Leia from blanking. Ooh. And he's not going to battle in space. Huh. So that wasn't what I was expecting to happen, right? I thought we were going to get that battle in space. Get the swing. Why would he put 4-Lom down there and then pass? Now he's going to allow Lightside to battle into him. I don't like that play at all. That's probably an opportunity for Lightside to battle into, right? Like, yeah, Brad's still flipped. He could battle here at the Roost, run away in space. That was, I think, very... Unless I'm missing something. Always possible. Always a possible thing that I'm missing something obvious, but... I didn't like that play of 4-Lom. Alright, so now Brad's going to get a bunch of drains through because he doesn't have to pay to force drain. I think Justin had to kick Brad out of space there, especially with Guri. What's he afraid of? He's getting 2 battle destiny and the opponent's only drawing 1. Brad's only drawing 1 there with Hog and Tidirium. And is down 9 power and 1 less battle destiny draw. So, that's interesting. Alright, so Brad looks what's in his reserve. Like, Brad could very conceivably knock out Shizor and Forlom here. Yep, that's probably what he's going to do. He's probably got like a 4. He can add 4, add 3. Even that would do it. Add 4, or draw 4, add 3. That eliminates both these characters. He gets a first strike swing on his hand. He now controls the site. He still has Leia to, Justin cycles Dark Time combo. Forlom's going to cancel Ezra, but that doesn't really do anything, right? Yeah. So yeah, maybe Ezra dies here. It's probably more important to keep Leia out. Yeah, I think Brad's going to win this game. Because he's going to eat 4 damage, right? But Brad's got, plenty of force here to kind of move around and make sure. All right, so he gets up to, or he's going to make it a 0. Okay. I would have, what was Brad's destiny? That was a 5. Wouldn't it have been better off just adding 3? Getting into 8. Definitely killing both of the characters. But then he has to lose somebody. I guess he doesn't care too much about Forlom. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, I guess that's, was it 6 in one hand, half dozen the other? Yeah, I think Justin is going to lose this, right, Joker King? Because now Justin can't really do anything. I mean, he could drain for 4. Brad's going to lose, 3 from hand and 1 from the top. And then he's got a pretty safe drain of 2, 2, 2. All right, so, and then Justin can't move in front of him anywhere because then Brad can then just battle and get the first strike swing. All right, so this is our rebellion. Is the peak. So I wonder if Brad found anything that might be of particular interest here. IGD8's going to tunnel for a card. Justin needed to get Brad out of space. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My favorite decoration is going to retrieve a card. So yeah, I mean, I might be missing some things obvious, but this game's just so complex. Sometimes certain lines seem pretty obvious, or for some reason we have blind spots to them in the game. I know there's been plenty of times where I've had that happen, where I'm just like, why didn't I just do that? Or why did I overthink this? Or, but yeah, there's some interesting plays there. All right, so Brad's going to lose a bunch of cards. He has none in his hand, but 4 cards face down still. And then, so Justin's got 7. Maybe Justin does win this by 1? No, he can't. He has to block a drain, right? Which he can block the space drain. No, he can't, because then he's going to get the first strike swing. He could, if he... Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, so Justin's got to think here. Does he... Maybe even more reason why it would have been important for Brad to not get rid of Forlom. I know. Like I said, Forlom's only kind of a factor if Leia's still around. But maybe it would have made sense to get rid of Forlom, ooh. All right, so that's a first strike swing. That's a first strike swing. Yeah, I think... But now Brad's going to do a lot. This is going to be interesting. Brad's going to do less damage if... No, he can't cover it up now. Oh, boy. Oh, wow. All right, so now Brad is just going to be able to get now drains of, 1 and 2 in. So it's 3, so that's going to get Justin down to 4 life force. And then doesn't Brad just battle at the carbonite chamber and overflow him? I guess Justin has a Gick. Brad could possibly utilize first strike to his advantage here to retrieve a card and extend this another turn, I think. Let's see what the chat's saying. Sorry, I haven't looked in a minute or two. Justin needs to get Brad out of space. What a baffling end. Even if your destiny's on top or 1-1, you have to battle there. Yeah. Alright, so Justin's going to keep a card in hand, which must be Gick. If it's not Gick, he's just going to lose because of the battle at the Carbonite Chamber. Has to be Gick. So he's going to do that. He's going to have to lose a card off the top to first strike. He's going to only have 2 cards left. I wonder... Maybe Brad should have activated one more and just threatened like first strike pings instead of like... just battle. Either Justin would have to lose Chelly in 1 card, or even, let's say Brad doesn't draw Battle Destiny. Justin would have to lose Chelly in 1 card, which is effectively the same thing as Chelly and a Gick. Oh, Projective. Oof, love that card. Alright, so that's what he had. He did not have Gick. Yeah, even another reason why, again, totally, that's definitely a hindsight 2020 thing, but that would have been a good reason to activate one more. Which one? Wait, he battled at the Roost? Why did... Oh, he should have battled at the Carbonite Chamber. Right? That would have been the most sense. So he cancels that battle, gets another battle in. Alright. First strike ping. Justin loses a card. Brad is going to get 2 Battle Destiny here, and he's going to be able to use his objective, right, to add 3 or subtract 3. He's going to add, make it 8. And that's going to eliminate Justin from... Yeah, and Justin's going to run out of cards here. He's only having 2 cards face down, so he can only do so much. He can only, between retrieval, battle, move away, possibly. He could get a drain of... Oh, wait a minute. He's going to drain 2/2, right? What's going on? Chat, help me out. Why not battle the Carbonite? Justin's not going to win, right? He can drain a Mandalore. He can drain at the Audience Chamber. He can get a first strike ping. I think he can also get the drain through at the city now. That I think Leia's been burned. I think she was used twice, right? Either player has a card in hand. Yeah, I think Justin's going to win this by 2. Huh. That's a wild finish. This thing zigzagged back and forth a bunch of times. Drain. Oh, all right, so yeah, he's upping his differential, so that's smart. And now he's going to drain, and that'll be the game. Okay, so Justin wins by 3. Wow, tight game. All right. All right, so good game to both players. A few interesting things there, but a good, entertaining ending. Let me just pull up here. Not that I'm going to do another game, but... Oh, Stubbly's playing. Stubbly's playing John. I can't stay. I apologize. I've been yawning a little too much. Not to be rude to the players, but it's been a long day. But yeah, all right. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thunderflare V was the sticker book token. Everyone take care. Good luck to all players in the Champions League. May the force be with you.